All right, let's get right into one of the biggest, most life-changing ideas from the courage to be disliked. We're jumping into the third night of the dialogue between the philosopher and the youth. And this is where we tackle a struggle that I think every single one of us feels, that deep, nagging desire for real, personal freedom. I mean, what does that even mean, to be truly free? It's a massive question, right? It's the one the youth in the book is just tormented by. He feels stuck, boxed in, and I bet you felt that way too. But what is it that's actually holding us back? Well, the answer, it's probably not what you think. Adlerian psychology comes in with this incredibly bold claim. It says that, at the end of the day, all of our problems are problems with other people. Yep, you heard that right. It's not about not having enough money or not having the right job. The source of our deepest struggles, including that feeling of being trapped, comes directly from our relationships. Just think about it for a second. The expectations your parents have for you, the subtle judgments from your boss or coworkers, even the unwritten rules of your friend group. They're like these invisible threads that create this huge, sticky web of obligations. And we end up stuck in it, constantly trying to live up to standards that we didn't even set for ourselves. So why do we get so tangled and up in this web in the first place? Well, it all boils down to something superhuman. We crave recognition. We want people to like us, to praise us, to tell us we're on the right track. But here's the kicker. That very desire for approval, that's the lock on the door of our own prison. Look at the difference here. When you're living to meet other people's expectations, you're always worried. You're scared of what they'll think. You start to squash down your true self, what the book calls your I-ness. The other path, it's about following your own compass, being real, and choosing the path you believe is best, whether people cheer you on or not. And this is the part that can feel like a splash of cold water. It's a two-way street. You don't exist to live up to someone else's idea of who you should be. And guess what? They don't exist to live up to yours either. If you can really truly let that sink in, it changes the entire game. So how do we do this? This brings us to the big tool, the core practice in Adlerian psychology for finding freedom, the separation of tasks. It sounds kind of simple, maybe a little corporate, but trust me, it's a revolutionary idea. It's all about drawing a very clear line between what's your job and what's someone else's. Okay, but how can you tell? How do you know where to draw that line? Let's take a classic example. A parent is worried sick because their kid won't study. Is getting the kid to study the parent's task or the child's? The method is actually so simple it's brilliant. First, you identify the specific choice being made. In our example, it's the choice to study or not to study. Then, you ask one powerful question. Who ultimately gets the final result of this choice? Well, the parent doesn't get a bad grade. The parent doesn't fail the class. The child does. So, studying is the child's task. Period. You know, our relationships often feel just like this, like the legendary Gordian knot, this huge, impossibly tangled mess. And we spend all our energy trying to gently pull at each string, trying not to upset anyone, hoping we can slowly, carefully untangle it all in a way that makes everybody happy. But you know the story. Alexander the Great comes along, sees everyone failing with the same old approach, and does something totally different. He doesn't play by the knot's rules. He just draws his sword and cuts right through it. And that is such a perfect metaphor for separating tasks. Sometimes you don't untangle a problem, you cut it. And this quote just nails it. We can't sit around waiting for some legend to happen or for other people to magically fix our tangled lives for us. We have to be the ones to take out our own sword and slice through the expectations and obligations that are holding us back. Now, there's a pretty big consequence to cutting that knot. When you stop trying to manage everyone else's feelings and expectations, when you focus only on what's your task, some people are not going to like it. But their judgment of your choices, that's their task, not yours. And that leads us to, hands down, the most powerful and provocative statement in this entire book. It's this idea that real freedom isn't about getting everyone to love you. Freedom is the experience of being disliked by other people and being okay with it. Now, hold on, let's be super clear here. This is not a free pass to be a jerk or to go around intentionally upsetting people. The goal isn't to be disliked. The whole point is to not be afraid of it. In fact, when someone dislikes you for living your life authentically, it's proof that you're actually free. It's the price of admission for living by your own principles. This kind of courage shows us the difference between what we think is freedom and what real freedom is. On one side, you've got this false freedom, just doing whatever you want, following every impulse, tumbling downhill like a stone, always needing that next hit of recognition. But on the other side, there's real freedom, and that's the strength to resist those impulses, to choose to climb the hard slope in front of you because it's the path you've chosen for yourself. And here's the beautiful payoff, the real reward. When you find that courage, the courage to be happy, which includes the courage to be disliked, something amazing happens. That heavy, crushing weight of other people's expectations, it just lifts. Your relationships don't all fall apart, they transform. They suddenly feel lighter. For so long, we think other people hold all the power, that their approval or disapproval is what makes or breaks our happiness. But the separation of tasks shows us the truth. You are the one holding the cards. You are in charge of your actions, your choices, and that's where all your power really is. So, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. Just take a moment and look at your life right now. Think about the stress, the anxiety, the sense of obligation you're feeling. And just ask yourself, whose tasks are you carrying today? And are you brave enough to finally put them down?